What is going on, guys? Welcome back to the channel. And in today's video, we got our second Inside of My Mind video on this channel. And I specifically wanted to show you guys this footage because I made more mistakes than what I thought, and I think we could all learn from this together. So if you do enjoy these types of videos and you want me to make more, if you could please like it and subscribe if you haven't already. And I did recently switch over to Twitch, so if you're a fan of live streams, I am now live on Twitch. But with all that out the way, let's get straight into it. And before we get started, I do want to apologize. I was not recording my mic audio when I got this footage, so this will be a voiceover for the rest of this video. So I'm gonna try my best to put myself in the shoes of how I was while recording this. So let's get started. We're dropping at Supernova Academy, and already I'm seeing there's about 7 or 8 people all dropping this location. So the first thing I'm thinking of is get a weapon before anybody else does. And I already see the legendary Spire rifle. It is a common, but it's my favorite weapon as far as rifles go this season. And this guy tried to get up on the roof, but he's seen I got it first. So this is just easy pickings. And the next thing I'm doing is I'm already looking for other people to take out that didn't get a weapon very quick. So there's already fighting going on. I'm missing a few shots here, but I switched to tap fire and I take somebody out. And then I also know this guy was fighting somebody else. So I'm pushing this guy, but he keeps running back inside. So now I got to scramble around doing some peeks, and clearly he's underneath me. So in this next scene, I can hear him underneath me. So I'm breaking the floor and I'm trying to see if he'll poke his head out, or he'll, if I can bait him. And I keep moving back and forth, and I can tell he's right underneath me around this corner. So I do a little juke slide, shotgun, AR, shotgun, and I take him out. Now I did only use one Spire rifle bullet in that moment, but I mean, it's really good practice to swap back and forth from your spray and your shotgun. So right now I'm just running around Supernova and I'm trying to see if there's anybody else around. Using my sprint slide, so I'm saving my stamina. And I do take this mini out in the open. You don't want to do this, and if you do, make sure you're hopping around and looking around. But always make sure you're sliding and sprinting. I see too many people still in 2025 doing that. All the sprint jumping. That is how you kill your stamina, especially in zero build, and there's no cover. You can't get the builds. And I did hear a zip line, and I'm gonna rush into here. This was one mistake I already made. If there was somebody hiding around this corner, they had a right shoulder peek and they could have easily taken me out. And since they're in the vault, chances are they probably had better loot than me. But I can hear people are fighting above me, so I do take this opportunity to loot up a little bit more, and then I'm gonna start looking. So right now I'm outside on the roof looking around, and I don't see this guy, so I assume he's down here in this little test vault area with the little coins and stuff. And of course he is, so I pop right shoulder peek, and I actually decide to kind of scoot down the steps a little bit so I can pop my head out, and there he is right there doing the exact same thing. So I'm posting up, and I think he went underneath, but this is actually a different person. I laser him, he kind of gets me a little bit, I panic and jump down, and of course the other guy hears the commotion and he takes my kill. I don't like that, so I'm gonna pop in and out of a right shoulder peek, making sure to swap between my weapons. And what he's doing is stupid. You can't just sit there posted up. He does throw a shockwave, but that doesn't really do anything but get me out of there. So there was a sprite right next to me there. I could have used that for movement, but I also heard him coming out, and there's a car, so I do try to do like the slow-mo with the revolvers, get some height on him. But as I was shooting him, that third party comes in. I haven't reloaded any of my weapons, so I am going to back off a little bit, get some high ground, and try to reload. And obviously he pings me as well, so I'm trying to hop back and forth. There's footsteps behind me now, and now I'm thinking, dude, I'm sandwiched. So to avoid being sandwiched like this, I actually went out the right side, and I'm going to go right back to where he was, and I'm going to back off a little bit. And I'm just going to try to find cover, see if he's going to push me, but he is fighting that other team, so I'm going to let them duke it out. And I do this a lot this game. I let a lot of people duke it out, and I've been running away from fights a lot, but we'll still have to see how this rolls out. So this guy does have some loot. I totally missed the minis. Before anybody puts it in the comments, I know I missed the minis, but I was just trying to get out of there. I was like, screw this. This is third party central. So I actually just start moving. So after a little bit of looting, I see there's this car in the middle of the road, and obviously somebody put it there, so I'm gonna do the ping method. If the icon shows up, that means nobody's in it. So I start pushing over there, and of course somebody comes out of the gas station and they get in it. So instead of me wasting all my surf cube, there is a perfectly good car right here, and I'm gonna start chasing him. And as soon as I pop out, there's another person on the surf cube, and everybody's all scattered throughout this whole game. So I don't know why I ignored that guy and it's, you know, pushed the dude in the car, but for some reason I wanted to chase this guy and I don't see him for a while. So I start pushing him, somebody shot behind me, this guy's driving, somebody's shooting him, and I'm like, all right, I'm not doing this Fast and the Furious chase, so I'm gonna get up here, try to get some high ground, and I see a rock right here, and of course, I get trigger happy and I get out of my vehicle. If you guys are gonna do this with a car, make sure you slam on your brakes and get it to a full stop, because there's too many times where I've launched my car off of a cliff and now I'm without a vehicle, and especially in the end games, that sucks. So this is the guy on the surf cube from earlier. I don't see the other people, so I'm gonna whip around and I'm gonna go fight him. And since he was moving a lot, you know, I could probably assume he might only have 50 shields. So I push him, he immediately starts dipping, and this time I'm like, no, you're not getting out of my sights. So of course, my car gets flipped and I just abandon it. Like, I'm not gonna sit here. So I do laser him pretty well, and I was gonna use my gauntlets, but the surf cube worked for him pretty well. So I'm gonna try to ramp up this hill as well. I'm looking and I can't even see this dude. I don't know where he went. So I do see some movement in the distance. I think this is the same guy, but this is just a bot. It is a Harley Quinn. So I have no idea where that guy went. He may have went around a corner and he just see me go past, but I can already tell that's not the same guy. So I'm gonna go get another car. I'm hopping around, looking around, seeing where this dude is, because I know he's low. And I do see very smidge of a bunker on the top of this hill. So I push up here, and I'm gonna get my gauntlets out, and there's a guy in here hiding, and he does hit me a little bit, but I do launch him off the edge. But that was not the same dude. That was the guy in the black car I was chasing originally, and this thing is really beat up. It is damaged. So I'm gonna use this as much as I can. This guy's on a surf cube, so I'm not trying to fight. I need some heals. I'm gonna go ahead and go underground in this porta potty, and I'm gonna try to find some heals. And at this point, I'm looking around like, man, I gotta get some heals. So I see this little superhero chest here. All it has is some minis, but I am able to get like a 5% refresh on my base boost gauntlets. And there is a med kit as well, so I'm gonna heal up. And at this point, there's 30 people left on the map, and I've avoided every fight. So I'm gonna go back into the porta potty, making sure I have my gloves equipped first, just in case somebody was camping out of it. And also it is really good for breaking those slap barrels. So right now, I'm thinking I'm being too defensive. I'm running away too scared. I'm scared of losing the fights or losing the game. I'm looking around and I do see somebody off in the distance. So right now, I'm actually going to be aggressive for the rest of this game, or at least momentarily. So I'm pushing this guy with the surf cube, and this is another mistake I made. I dropped down in the middle of the open. I do tag this guy, but guess what he has? Of course, he has bunkers, and I'm running, trying to get cover. I do get a right shoulder peek, and I do have my gloves, so I can break his bunker, but I'm gonna have to use 2 charges to break it. It does break. This guy's got shockwaves, but I'm like, nah, I'm not letting you get away. I dodge, boom, boom, 2-tap him. So that's still not the same people I seen earlier, but I'm still gonna go ahead and try to loot up. I do hear others shooting. Gonna go ahead and switch to a sentinel pump, and I'm gonna get rid of my gloves for the scanner because I do have the surf cube. And once it gets down to the end games, the visors are just OP, dude. Every time I lose something in the end game, it's because somebody has a visor and I don't. And also, I was able to get another refresh on my surf cube, and we got a green goblin looking car here. So now at this point of the video, there's 18 people left. I'm just pushing for fights. And I'm pushing over here to this vault, and I got a Superman over here, and this part I panicked a little bit. I hopped out, and this guy has the Storm Beast gloves, and the only way to avoid these is either get far away from them or don't attack them at all. So I did not want to be locked up in this little small confined area with the Storm Beast. When they're out in the open, they're not as hard to defeat because they're not as fast and as strong as what you might think, and those slam attacks are super predictable, and you can just laser them out the sky. But luckily, in my retreat, I was able to find a legendary sentinel pump. So right now I'm just getting assorted. I'm gonna loot up a little bit, but I'm also thinking, dude, you ran away again. We can't be doing that. We gotta get this Storm Beast out of here. So I'm looking around. I see the Storm Beast is pushing over here, and there's also a medallion user over here. So I don't know which one it is, but I gotta get these guys out of the lobby. I see a bubble shield go off. I see the Storm Beast, and I see somebody invisible. So they have the floating island medallion, and that is the guy from earlier from the Supernova Academy. Again, I do push away from this fight because I was thinking I got 3 people over here and a storm beast. I'm not trying to get caught up in a sandwich, so I'm going to push up to some high ground and kind of reevaluate my situation here. And these videos are not only nice to make content and to help out beginners and you guys and stuff, but it's also good for me to look back at my footage and figure out what I'm doing wrong. Was I running away too much? Was I being too defensive? Or was this, good to survive till the end game? You guys can be the judge in the comments. So I do hear some shooting going off, and by the spray pattern, I can tell it's just some bots. So these are just easy pickings. Let's just get these 2 bots out of here. And then at this point, we are now in the top 11 in the match, and we got 7 eliminations. And I also got an upgrade on my Spire rifle, and yet again, another Surf Cube upgrade or refresh. The amount of loot I was getting was super lucky this game. I'm not this lucky, but everywhere I went, I was getting refreshes and upgrades, and it was really nice. So I was tired of sitting here up on this spot. It was a nice spot for high ground, but I'm just camping. I'm just a sitting duck, and that's not going to help me. So at this point, I'm zooming around and I'm just looking for more and more fights. And I'm also trying to think about the Storm Beast person because I think they're still alive. And also there are still 2 medallion users on the map, and I don't want to fight them in the end game. So I see both of them are both stacked up at the Utopia City. So I'm going to push over here. I do see a car behind me as well. And I also see a lot of destruction. So I don't know if that was the Storm Beast or Superman, but I'm going to put my focus on this guy because he does not have a medallion. I go ahead and I miss my shot here. I don't know where he's going, so I'm gonna take the staircase down. I should use my visor, but I had it handled. Popped him for a headshot, popped him again, switched to my AR, and boom, we got the Frostbite Sentinel Pump, and we got a Chug Jug. The amount of loot I was getting this game was a gift from the Fortnite gods. So I could not give up. I could not throw this game. I had to focus up. So right now, am I thinking, should I be in this confined area with a lot of hiding spots with 2 people with medallions, or should I run away again? And of course, I decided to move again. So I went over to this area where you can dance on this platform. I did my emo and I shot myself back up in the air, and I'm looking for my car, and I see it off in the distance. The amount of cars I've ditched this game was crazy. So I'm going back over there. I want to get my wheels because I don't want to fully depend on my Surf Cube. Just because I got a refresh doesn't mean I'm going to find another one later. And if there's an option for you to use a vehicle over your movement, do that every single time. And also when I land, you can see I'm using my visor. Don't forget to use your visor. And also don't forget to do some really cool ramp moves with a spin and weave right between a pole and a tree. That one deserves a like. That was pretty cool. Can you drop a like for that one? Thank you. And I also came up here because I thought that purple was a boon. It was not a boon. It was those mist gauntlets. So I came up here for no reason. I'm actually going to go right back up to that high ground that I was at earlier because luckily it's right in the edge of the circle. And once it gets down here, because we are in the top 7 with 8 eliminations, I do not want to be smack dab in the middle of the circle. If you are in the circle and you are right in the middle, you're just asking to be sandwiched from all sides because now you are point blank in, crossfire of every single person. If you shoot somebody else, one person from your left is going to hear that, one person from the right, and then everybody's going to be shooting at you. You're just a sitting duck. You're a target. So always stick to the outskirts of the circle. And also, speaking of the circle, we can see the second one. So I'm going to go ahead and ping the very middle of that next circle just to know the center radius of it. And that's exactly where I'm going to start pushing. And on our way to the circle, we found a dash sprite. So I'm going to go ahead and throw this down because I got nobody around me. And it's better to have extra dashes, extra movement than to not have it. So I'm going to scan what I come over here. I want to see if there's anybody here, and it doesn't look like there is. So we got a nice vantage point. We got good high ground. Just wasted a dash, but we're going to ignore that. And we got yet again another Surf Cube refresh. I promise this isn't scripted. I've never had this much luck in a game before. That's why I wanted to show you guys this. So even with all the dumb mistakes I made, I still had some pretty good luck. So I got a nice vantage point right here. I do see some cars moving, but nobody's by me. So I'm going to take this extra 53 seconds I have to kind of loot up a bit. And then I see some movement. I see the storm beast again, I see a vehicle, and there's also another person fighting over there. So we are in the top 7. That's half the lobby is just on this bridge. So I'm gonna go ahead and jump over there, see if I can pick some of these people off. And this is one of the dumb mistakes I made. This guy gets in the car and drives away. There's another person shooting at this car, and I fully ignore them, turn my back to them, and I go on the road without any cover, and I laser this guy on the surf cube. I don't know why I did this. I was successful when doing this, but if that was anybody with a brain, they would have shot me in my back, because why shoot a moving vehicle that has 3 times the amount of health when you can shoot the guy who's not even paying attention to you? But for some reason, I was confident in thinking he wouldn't see me, and I was successful with it. But yeah, sometimes you can do these 50-50 things, but I wouldn't recommend it. So right now, the circle is getting small, so I got plenty of my surf cube left. I just got a refresh, so I'm going to be sticking to the edges of the circle, letting everybody else fight. At this point, I'm not being aggressive, I'm being very strategic. So I'm moving around on the very edges, looking for high ground, and also everywhere I go, I'm making sure that I'm scanning my visor, because I don't want to get comfortable and somebody pops out in a bush because they had the same idea as me. So it looks like we're clear here. We see a person over there. We see somebody with shockwave gauntlets. There's also somebody else in a bush that has a car. So we're just kind of looking around, seeing what's going on. And I see this vehicle in this bush, and I go ahead and I just fully commit to destroying this vehicle, because it's better to not have a bunch of car campers in the end game than to have them. So go ahead and laser them a bit, and you can see in the little corner, he did have the mist cape, the bat thing, so he dives down at the bottom, probably took a little bit of damage there, and I'm looking at him because those other guys are distracted, and I can see him trying to loot up, ping them a few times. I can see he's going to be coming up over this hill. I try to get him a few times more, and of course I miss every single shot, but that doesn't matter. And at this point, I'm checking myself, saying, dude, you don't need to be doing all this. Just stay stealthy. So we don't got to be in a super big rush. The storm is moving slow. We got movement and we got dashes. Just make sure you reload. And then, of course, right in front of us, the car that we left earlier in the match. What are the chances that the storm will be in our favor this much, giving us that high ground that we looked at earlier and the car that I left behind? So this was such a good match for me. This was super cool just to find it sitting there still. So we're looking around, we're scanning. Out of nowhere, somebody starts landing on me, so I kind of move around, and it's that same lizard dude from earlier. He lands in a tree. I tag him a few times, but I don't want to be in this situation, so I do kind of panic a little bit, and this is another stupid decision I made. I pushed towards the circle way too early. You can see there's a lot of commotion. I got my visor, so I see somebody's hiding in that bush. I do a little, whip around, and I destroy his bush so he doesn't have anywhere to hide. But as I'm coming back, there's people left and right. There's people with gauntlets. There's people with the mist stuff. That guy in the tree starts lasering me again. So I'm kind of just moving around, and the only little bit of cover I see is this tree. So I kind of whip around, hop out, and this time I did actually stop the car fully instead of sending it into the storm. And this guy gets up on this tree, and for some reason I was confused, and I went back in my car. Then I hopped out, and I was like, wait, he's just in the tree. So I try to ping him with my visor, and I see he's up there, and for some reason the bullets wouldn't hit him if you're underneath the tree, so I just destroyed it. He had the bat wings, and he got into my car. I'm not going to have that, so I just dipped out. I'm going to pull out my surf cube, and at this point, we see the medallion user. We see people with wings. I try to get in this tree here, and this is where I messed up. I canceled it too early, and now I'm running around with no cover with like 3-4 other people. So somebody else has got my vehicle, so I'm just going to dash over here, and I find this perfect little lip on the edge of this little hill here that I can hide behind, and I'm just right behind the storm. All these people are fighting each other, and all I'm thinking about is survival. I'm not really too worried about trying to take anybody out. I might tag them if I get a chance, but I'm just gonna sit here, make sure I'm reloaded, and I'm just gonna keep moving, keep crouching, and keep tagging people with my visor. So right here, I'm just gonna chill out a little bit. I do hear a crown go off. This is why I don't keep my crowns a lot, unless it's for blitz. I have changed my mind on that. So Superman came out in the open. I tagged him a few times. Now he's out. And now we are in a top 3, 10 eliminations. And of course, that Storm Beast is still alive. So if you're in a situation like this, movement is your #1 priority, because if they keep doing those slam attacks, it will push them into Storm and they will die very quickly. So me and him are kind of not teaming Fortnite or Epic. We're not teaming, but kind of got that Storm Beast out of here. And now this guy's low on health, and I'm going to fully use this bush to my advantage. I got the Frostbite shotgun, and boom, we got him out, and he couldn't even see where we were. So it was a really weird game, but also at the same time really lucky. So there was a few things I did right, a few things I did wrong. We got 11 eliminations with 31% accuracy, which isn't great, but it's also not the worst I've ever done on this channel. But that is going to do it for this video, guys. I hope you enjoyed, and I hope this helped you out, even if it was just a little bit. Because like I said, it's not just for the content, it's also for me as well. Being able to look back at this footage and improve on it is a good thing. You know, I used to get so many hate comments telling me to quit Fortnite, quit YouTube, all that stuff. But if me from 10 months ago would see the me now, he would swear up and down I was on mouse and keyboard and I had hacks. Okay, Fortnite becomes so much more fun when you see yourself improve. You're actually getting wins, you're hitting those shots, you got the movement. It's crazy. So if you guys did enjoy this video, please smash that like button for me. Subscribe if you haven't already. Check out the Discord, the link is in the description. And please use code ZombiexD.N.A in the Fortnite item shop. Oh, also Twitch. I forgot about that's another thing I gotta throw in here. I'm streaming on Twitch. You should follow me. Link is in the description as well. All I gotta do is hit 50 followers and I can be an affiliate. That'd be great. Okay, I love you. Bye.